Mimi, Siri.
Muki muki.
Eat something, I. Yes, sir. Ja, nej, vad du ju säger. Nej, nej, vi är äcklemmer. Сидел митмулька. Сви, або брампуй. Сиоши. Кунва, хабнай, фунаеду. Ставор, кунама.
Well, looks like we're gonna have to destroy all these II clone robots after all before we catch up to Dr. Bad Boon, of course, because as to be expected, that we still need to go after him nonetheless. Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm from the likes of the Merxy Toys videos, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Monkey Ball Deluxe for the PlayStation 2/Xbox. So last time we have managed to explore around in World 7, which is Bubbly Washing Machine, and today we're about to be exploring onto, for this episode anyway, and that was the fact that we, as I said before, we're going to be exploring onto World 8, known as Clock Tower Factory, in both Super Monkey Ball 2 as well as Super Monkey Ball Deluxe as the actual game we are still currently doing. So either way, as to be expected, the actual difficulty rating is now going to be starting to increase a lot for the majority of this world every now and then, especially noticeable how the fact that, as you can tell, that the first stage we're going to be hop into is level 8-1, which is Pistons, and as you can see on screen, some of these graphical glitches does seem to manage to incur. This is probably because this is played on the Xbox 360 console. So, anyway, for this stage, as you can see, it's all about the huge emphasis on trying to able to stay safe for the most part if you really don't want to get knocked out by the forms of not only the actual bottomless pit down below, but also trying to avoid these godforsaking of those shifting triangles, as you can see right there, which, potentially speaking, it becomes like kind of nerve-wracking, honestly, which either way, when you get the actual pattern going on, you will be okay for the most part though. If you really want to go for every single of those bananas, well, I probably should not, I'm not going to take this risk, because otherwise I'm just here to able to obtain, well, you know, the actual bunch of banana to begin with. So yeah, that's that. Let's move on to Swing Bar Long, in this case a much more of a harder version of Swing Bar Level that we've already done since World 5. So either way though, let's go ahead and just, you know, keep our balance steady, and hopefully we should be able to grab some more bananas along the way too. So either way, oh goodness gracious me, that was so close. I almost gonna get myself a little bit more fluked out every now and then. But anyways, Soft Cream. At least this level can be easy if you manage to get the hang of it, but ultimately speaking, yet again we've met up with a graphical glitch onto here, but conveniently enough though that we are still standing on it. So whilst whenever we get into some of these Super Monkey Ball 2 levels, potentially, that we're probably not going to come across into that weird graphical glitch during the forms of that starting point throughout, but it doesn't really happen during the forms of the original Xbox though. And also, whenever we get onto the forms of the 13th level in this world, that we'll discuss more about it whenever we get onto that level, because for now, let's head on to probably the most annoying level in this whole entire world in my opinion, and that is Momentum. Well, between Pistons as well as Momentum, as you can see, both of those levels give me a hard time for some reason, because I swear to God, I was gonna able to do it just fine enough as it is, but most of the time I keep falling off, and as a result, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of emphasis on trial and error these days now. Even especially noticeable because of how the fact that since we've almost at the approaching towards the end kind of syndrome. So yeah, as a result of that specific stuff, on the other hand though, it always becomes a problematic, I feel like. So yeah, that could be some emphasis like so. So a few things we want to explain about this while this is going on is the fact that obviously today's day, according to the forms of the actual day schedules as far as I'm aware, today's day is the forms of the 28th of April in during the forms of it 2020. I just want to classify for something for that specific update for this point, guys. Originally about the fact that we was going to be able to actually just to continue uploading this during in every Tuesdays and Thursdays, mind you. But this time around for this week is the fact that it's going to be slightly a little bit different, probably because, first of all, that we almost... Oh, son of a... Oh, why do I always keep slipping off the edge? Anyway, so yeah, this is gonna be the actual 3-week part for this week. This is probably because we just want to get this Let's Play finished before we do with the next Super Monkey Ball Let's Play until likely next month. And second of all is the fact that we just want to able to actually get most of these Let's Plays finished before we move on to the next. And especially noticeable that how the fact that until tomorrow, that Defi and Tiona are about to be focusing on one last video for the next few days or something until when it gets to May. Well, to be more specifically, the middle of May or something like that, but then again though, we'll see what happens there, enjoying that some form or another, but either way though, let's just go ahead and not mess things up, and there we go. Now we've managed to pass for that. God, I really cannot stand that level sometimes, but either way, let's just move on. Into Twin Attacker, which is actually based off from floor 21, in new forms of what else? The original Super Monkey Ball. So, and obviously we'd have to do a bit of a careful, precise movement, because if you slightly go bang onto the wall, then you're probably going to fall off. So honestly, this level's not too bad though, if you get the hang of it though. So either way though, there's 2 bunches by the way, in case if you want it. Untangled or Entangled Path, which... Kind of think about it, this level's kind of weird at first, because either way, all I need to do is basically, you can either go to the regular goal or the green goal if you want to prefer the actual ultimate challenge, but I'm probably not going to go for the green goal honestly, so instead I'm actually going to be activating the fast forward switch, so just in case I can able to let the actual path joined it by the actual regular normal goal, and that way I can able to actually just make the actual path segments a lot faster, but then as soon as it gets closer towards it, I have to slow down a bit. So either way though, that way we can able to not only get some more bananas, but also get to the normal goal just like so. Has some ton of lag too. Not in my computer or not in my capture card front, but in my in-game just somehow feels a little bit too laggy at one point, so Trollters. In this stage, it's pretty obvious, and it's pretty simple and self-explanatory if you manage to know what you're doing. And that was the fact that you have to get a lot of usage on, well, I don't know if I can usually try to do this as in for that attempt, mind you, but either way though, we'll try that again. So, either way though, hopefully we should get ourselves some better luck for this points this time around. And you know, we can able to actually complete that stage no problem. So either way, now let's move on to level 8-8, which is Snake. And it's a very short and somewhat of a small level, because as you can tell, not much anything else from here, apart from just trying to go from platform to platform, while simply just trying to not to fall off on that particular stage. So, it's not too bad though, if you get the hang of this though, especially noticeable for that specific technique I just performed. Well, not so much for technique, but it's more accurate. Trying to be a little bit more steady. So, World 8-9, which is Vortex, which once again we're going back onto that glitched up, graphical glitched up platform over there. Like, usually, again, it only happens on whenever I play this on my Xbox 360 console. So as a result of that specific stuff, I always have to get used to that. So either way though, yeah, as far as I can say about it. So either way, again, not much else I can really say, I'm afraid, guys, apart from the fact that, well, just because of how the fact that the coronavirus is still spreading all this time, and eventually at this point, whenever it gets close towards the end of April, we could expect things a little bit more too much of a positivity, but still, it's just ended up likely due to the fact that with the same issue that we've got since, you know, during forms of the past few days or so. But either way, let's hop onto here, and yes, there's actually 2 goals here and there. Let's just be very careful on this last part, because we really don't want to fall off, because otherwise we have to go through all that entire ordeal all over again. Unless there's a green goal we can able to get, but we've only got just 1 banana, and that's all that I'm really trying to aim for. But that's okay, because either way though, we still got 829 bananas total. So either way, now let's move on to level 8-10, which is Wind.
Ready?
Now I remember this level since I've managed the first time experiencing this stage. I think it was actually on Super Monkey Ball Touch and Roll, because that's the stage I've never actually got into in the original Super Monkey Ball. But thankfully though, it has now been accessible, and especially noticeable, I found it very easy if you manage to get the hang of it. Such as, like, for instance, I managed to pull off a nice quick shortcut, so that way you don't have to go through all this long stretch of road kind of pathway. So ultimately speaking, is the fact that we could potentially try to deal with this level super easy. So either way, just have to make sure you really don't fall off, and especially noticeable if you try to go through a normal pathway, then you're probably gonna able to actually just run out of time super instantly. So yeah, that pretty much takes care of the forms of the first half of World 8. And now on to the second half of World 8, which is of course Clock Tower Factory, which is the name of the world, by the way. It always kind of reminds me of the Notre Dame for some reason, from the likes of, well, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, except the noticeable difference is the fact that it does have a lot of factory kind of contraptions, such as conveyor belts, gears, and all that stuff. But it does have some bells at the top of the level, after when you complete the level, or in this case, well, after when you complete the stage, I should say. And then, every once in a while, it does almost reminds me of Notre Dame from the likes of in Paris or something. So, that's probably just me anyway, though, but anyway. But anyway, let's go ahead and deal with World 8-11, known as Warp, which fundamentally this stage only has like 2 goals. I'm actually going to be going a little bit more of a ballsy here to able to go for this green goal, which can be impossible to go, but nonetheless we did manage to pass it, despite with my game always attempt to drop some frames every once in a while, which either way though, because again, playing this on the Xbox 360 console won't be so ordeal way of playing it. So anyways, level 8-12 is Sliders, also known in the numerican version. It is, for whatever reason, it just calls it Windy Slide, which I'm not exactly sure why they call it that particular level for that name. But either way though, it's just a little bit of a convenience that is. So either way though, self-explanatory, and it's actually not too hard honestly. So either way, let's move on to Trampolines. So Now, remember the forms of the original Super Monkey Ball 2 game on the GameCube? That normally it does have this really weird graphical effect during the forms in the background. Well, not so much in the actual distance from this segment over there, but to be more accurate, the outside portion of the entirety of the entire environment that is actually all covered in green in the original Super Monkey Ball 2. Whilst in this, the green color effect has no longer going to appear in the Deluxe counterparts, so even then, something's worth mentioning. Level 814 is Fall Down, where you're gonna have to basically just keep up with the actual jump from platform to platform, while simply able to keep an eye out with the actual the arrows themselves, and then tell you where you're supposed to go. So either way, self-explanatory, and I found this level to be extremely easy. So swing shift, or swing shaft, sorry. I keep on forgetting about the forms of certain of those names of the levels, by the way, because again, it's been such a long while. So either way though, let's go ahead and dodge these blocks that's been attached to that specific swinging shifty little obstacle, or the actual platform, I should say. So either way though, as long as you be very cautious with that stuff, then you should be okay for the most part. But before I do get into the goal, let's go ahead and grab some more bananas in case. So at least we can able to accept that. And fundamentally, we've only got about 5 levels to go. So naturally speaking, let's move on to Twin Cross. The bunch of bananas are on the right side, and then if you want to take it a little bit more steady on your approach, and then you might as well go to the left side. But unluckily for me, I simply able to actually just fell into the actual that specific segment on this stage, but at least I'm hoping I can able to actually get some more bunches along the way. But I don't really think I can do it normally, just because, well, it just makes things a lot harder. And especially noticeable how the fact that if I was gonna able to try to do this on my own time for my challenge mode on my own time, then I don't know what pathway should I even go to. Well, unless if you have an easier time just trying to go onto the left side by simply able to go through like grid to grid. But in here, that as long as you could able to potentially try to get some banana bunches from the right side, you're gonna have to get usage with this particular cool you know, skip jump, but it's not as easy to perform, unfortunately, just because most of the time I just keep falling off. But luckily for me, I've managed to finally make it, and it's actually in a lot more of a quicker time than the forms of how it does it when you do it normally. So anyways, linear seesaws. This level seems interesting enough in level 8-17, so we can at least able to actually just, well, do some seesaws action. So, but unfortunately I seem to accidentally ignore those 2 bananas right there, but that's okay, because either way though, spoiler warning, I don't think we can able to reach to 999 bananas in total on the second file, so I just want to classify that. So World 818 is Spiral Hard, in this case a much more of a harder version of the Spiral level that we've already done since World 6, and because of that though, I think this is the only level I've actually got into in challenge mode on my own time on my original Xbox, which so far so good anyway though, but unfortunately for the sake of time, probably because I just keep on trying to performing a nice shortcut. I think trying to do a shortcut might be a riskiest thing to do in my eyes, unless if you really want to go and do that on practice mode. But either way though, that's how it usually just goes by that. So anyway, let's move on to paperwork. So either way though, I think the actual getting the bananas in this stage can be pretty easy though, if you actually try to able to get the hang of it though. So at least we can able to try to grab those just in case before, you know, insanity will happen. So either way though, we can at least do that. So again, there's not much else we can really say about this point, I'm afraid guys, apart from the fact that I just want to give you guys a massive update. But in forms of the actual schedule for, you know, Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, as far as this week is concerned, that it will be a 3-parter this week, because, well, we'll talk more about it whenever we get on Thursday. So the last level in World 8, which appears to be the glorious Sega logo itself, which, fundamentally speaking, whoa, what is going on with my frame rate? I think it always does that on my own time whenever I play this on the Xbox 360 console, and it seems to run just fine on the original Xbox hardware, but I have no idea why. that if you couldn't tell with the actual, the frame rate has been so junky for the most part. Well, it's only for like this stage as well as the future stages and beyond. So most of the time though, you always have to go and cope with the actual slowdown, which either way though, yeah, just look how slow that was. But either way though, that's always attempts to able to actually just get to me when it comes to doing within this stage in general. So either way though, I just wanna, really? I was so close to able to make it to this next path, but that's just a bit of a dumber decisions for my liking. But either way, let's go ahead and try this again, and hopefully we should be able to, you know, just trying to pass it though. But again, because of my game's frame rate, it starts to go a little bit more chunk up for the most part though. But fundamentally speaking of it for this for the most part, I think, seemingly to say, I think we should probably make it for the actual goal. So I guess we should probably end things off here, I'm afraid, guys. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. And now is the fact that we're going to be hit on to the next world, which appears to be World 9, which we'll find out whenever we get on to on Thursday. So either way though, see you guys until on Thursday. Later fellas. Stop lagging, game!